On January 14, 2005, a pivotal moment in astronomy occurred as ESA's Huygens probe pierced 600 kilometers of orange haze surrounding Saturn's monster moon. NASA tracking data watched the robotic explorer plunge into a toxic environment chilled to -180 degrees Celsius. This was not a dead rock drifting silently through our solar system. The Huygens team officially described the landing site as a dark, gloomy landscape resembling an asphalt parking lot at dusk, completely soaked in liquid hydrocarbons. This unsettling space documentary uncovers the absolute terror of a dynamic alien world. What they saw next would change everything we thought we knew. Titan represents a profound anomaly in modern astronomy, challenging our standard understanding of planetary systems. While thousands of moons across our solar system exist as airless, frozen spheres of silent rock, this giant satellite hides beneath an extraordinarily thick blanket of gas. This is the only moon known to possess a dense, fully developed atmosphere, a feature that blurs the line between a mere satellite and a terrestrial planet. According to official telemetry data gathered by space exploration missions, the atmospheric pressure at the surface is astonishingly high, measuring exactly 1.45 times greater than the atmospheric surface pressure found on planet Earth. This means the sheer weight of the alien air pressing down on the frozen landscape is heavy and unrelenting. When scientists analyze this massive gas shroud on a per-surface area basis, the true scale of the anomaly becomes clear, because Titan holds an atmospheric mass 7.3 times greater than that of Earth. This dense structural composition creates a crushing physical reality that wraps the entire world in a permanent cosmic chokehold. The chemical framework of this shroud transforms standard planetary models into a complex organic laboratory. Analytical chemistry reveals that the atmospheric gases consist of 98.4% nitrogen, with the remaining fraction comprised mainly of methane and trace levels of hydrogen. In the high altitudinal zones of this orange sky, ultraviolet rays break down methane molecules, triggering complex chemical reactions that produce heavy, specialized hydrocarbon chains. This specific environmental property remains a critical focus of astrophysics and space theory because the resulting organic smog prevents conventional optical sensors from mapping the topographic terrain below. This methane concentration also induces a significant greenhouse warming loop, but the dense, high-altitude haze blocks incoming sunlight, generating an anti-greenhouse effect that dominates the thermal balance. Consequently, the average temperature remains locked at -180 degrees Celsius. This profound thickness completely redefines the physical dynamics of alien weather under low-gravity conditions. Titan exhibits a weak gravitational acceleration of only 0.14 g, making its pull far less powerful than Earth's moon. This low gravity, paired with the dense gas mass, produces a terrifying meteorological paradox. When methane clouds condense into storms, the liquid droplets grow abnormally large, matching the width of a human finger. Instead of striking the surface in a rapid downpour, these oily drops fall through the thick air with surreal sluggishness. They drift downward at an incredibly slow rate, hanging suspended in the heavy nitrogen haze like microparticles trapped inside a viscous liquid. This slow-motion rainfall covers the alien world in an ominous, silent cascade of liquid fuel, effectively demonstrating the terrifying reality of how extreme atmospheric density can easily warp a familiar natural planetary process into something profoundly foreign, incredibly dangerous, and deeply unsettling to any human observer today. But the true horror of this orange haze doesn't soft land on its frozen crust. It pools into worlds we never thought could exist. The exploration of extraterrestrial fluid systems marks a monumental milestone in advanced planetary science, pulling back the veil on environmental architectures that initially seem entirely impossible. While space exploration missions have mapped dry craters across multiple rocky worlds, Saturn's massive companion features vast, stable reservoirs of open-surface liquid. The northern polar terrain holds the absolute crown of this cryogenic hydrological matrix, dominated entirely by a gargantuan liquid body designated as Kraken Mare. Spanning an immense area of approximately 400,000 square kilometers, this extraterrestrial sea is significantly larger than the greatest freshwater lakes on Earth combined. For many years, planetary models relied on preliminary radar reflections to estimate its structural limits, assuming a relatively shallow basin. However, a major scientific breakthrough occurred in the year 2021 when astrophysicists reprocessed the final deep radar metrics captured during close flybys. This advanced analytical review violently shattered previous models, officially confirming that the central depths of Kraken Mare plunge to at least 300 meters. This immense abyss matches the height of 3 massive football stadiums stacked directly on top of each other, creating a colossal pocket of liquid hydrocarbons that remains completely hidden from direct optical observation. This immense liquid volume introduces a bizarre physical state that challenges common human experience with aquatic environments. On planet Earth, vast open waters are defined by the chaotic momentum of wind-driven waves, generating constant sound and movement. Telemetry gathered by orbital radar demonstrates that the surface of Kraken Mare behaves in a radically different manner because its small ripples never exceed a height of 3 millimeters. This metric reveals a terrifying planetary paradox, where a vast, deep ocean of liquid methane and liquid ethane remains frozen in absolute stillness, appearing to the human eye like a flawless sheet of glass. This glass mirror stretches across thousands of kilometers under a dim orange sky, creating a silent landscape where immense chemical energy is locked in total immobility. Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me if you find this unsettling. This eerie quiet does not indicate a complete lack of internal planetary force, but rather hides a deep mechanical danger beneath the silent mirror. The internal dynamics of this fluid system become exceptionally dangerous when modified by the heavy gravitational influence of the primary gas giant. Saturn exerts truly massive gravitational tidal forces on the Moon's complex internal structure and surface fluids, driving hidden currents through complex topographical features. A highly prominent geological structure nicknamed the Throat of the Kraken serves as a narrow strait separating the 2 main basins of this alien sea. Much like the Strait of Gibraltar on Earth, this constricted channel forces immense volumes of liquid methane through a tight bottleneck. The hydraulic pressure triggers rapid, violent underwater currents and massive, invisible whirlpools that churn relentlessly under the perfectly flat surface. This means a spacecraft navigating these depths would be violently torn apart by subterranean currents, while the upper surface looks perfectly calm and undisturbed. The dark, hidden cosmos contains environments where maximum physical violence occurs in total silence, proving that galaxies and the broader universe operate on rules that can easily destroy human designs. As terrifying as these silent oceans are, the solid ground surrounding them holds a mechanical trap built by cosmic chemistry. The geological landscape surrounding these liquid methane oceans introduces a terrifying environmental hazard that completely redefines our understanding of desert landscapes across the wider universe. When planetary exploration missions mapped the equatorial regions of this giant moon, they discovered immense fields of dark dunes stretching across thousands of kilometers. This region, highlighted in this science documentary, is known formally to modern astronomy as the Shangri-La Desert, looks remarkably similar to the hyper-arid sand seas found on planet Earth. However, an analytical examination of the physical samples reveals a bizarre structural reality that shocks traditional geological science. The grains covering this dark terrain do not consist of silicate minerals, quartz, or pulverized rock. Instead, the sand is entirely organic, created by a complex chemical cascade beginning within the upper atmosphere. Methane molecules circulating in the nitrogen sky are continuously exposed to intense ultraviolet radiation. This solar energy breaks the chemical bonds, forcing the atoms to recombine into heavy, complex organic molecules known to advanced cosmology as tholins. These complex polymers slowly precipitate downward through the thick atmosphere like microscopic soot, accumulating on the frozen crust over billions of years. Consequently, the massive dunes of Shangri-La are actually comprised of fine, porous grains of cosmic plastic sand. This soft hydrocarbon dust creates an extremely unstable surface that responds strangely to natural aerodynamic forces, behaving more like a low-density industrial powder than solid rock particles. This unique organic composition shifts the study of alien geomorphology into the realm of quantum physics, where molecular interactions generate macro-scale physical dangers for any mechanical intrusion. The true danger of this plastic Saharan landscape emerges from a devastating static electricity loop caused by the Moon's hyper-dry environment. As the strong equatorial superrotation winds drive the light tholin grains across the frozen terrain, the constant friction strips electrons from the organic particles. On Earth, moisture in the air naturally discharges static buildup, but the extreme cold of -180 degrees Celsius removes all water vapor from the nitrogen sky. Without an atmospheric escape route, the massive dunes accumulate an immense electrostatic charge, transforming the desert into a vast, silent power grid. If a human astronaut or a robotic explorer attempts to walk through the dark valleys of Shangri-La, a terrifying physical phenomenon occurs immediately. The porous plastic sand does not simply shift beneath the weight. Instead, it is violently attracted upward by powerful electrostatic forces, clinging ruthlessly to metallic hulls, fabric spacesuits, and complex optical lenses. This aggressive adhesive property creates a severe mechanical hazard for any engineering system operating inside this dark space environment. The static attraction holds the tholin grains tightly, entirely isolating sensitive robotic sensors and covering vital navigation lenses. Standard brush mechanisms remain completely useless against this sticky layer, leading to critical overheating and total communication failure during extended surface missions. Consequently, automated hardware becomes fully paralyzed by these fine dust particles. This sticky, black desert is merely a fragile shell, covering an even more violent underworld dynamic. The geological youth of Titan's crust introduces a massive puzzle for modern astronomy, completely shifting how scientists view active worlds in the outer solar system. Planetary mapping shows that the Moon's surface is remarkably young, with an estimated age of only 100 million years. For context, this means the surface refreshed itself around the time dinosaurs walked on Earth, a shocking discovery for a moon of this size. This intense, ongoing geological activity is actively driven by massive gravitational tidal forces. As the giant planet Saturn pulls relentlessly on the Moon's differentiated interior, the resulting internal friction generates immense thermal energy deep below the frozen crust. This internal engine ensures that the Moon remains dynamically alive, pushing liquid material upward in a process that mirrors terrestrial volcanic systems, but operates under radically different chemical rules that define the long-term evolutionary path of these distant and highly dramatic alien bodies. This cryogenic mechanism, known formally as cryovolcanism, replaces molten rock with frozen elements, transforming the volcanic landscape into a freezing laboratory. At a standard surface temperature of -180 degrees Celsius, water ice becomes completely rigid, behaving exactly like solid silicate rock on Earth. Consequently, volcanoes on this moon do not erupt scorching lava. Instead, they release a slushy mixture of liquid water and ammonia from a deep subsurface ocean. The most prominent example of this violent feature is a massive volcanic dome designated as Sotra Patera. Telemetry data confirms that this mountain features a collapsing crater measuring exactly 1.7 kilometers deep. The mechanical force required to burst through the hard ice sheet and create an abyss of this scale is truly gargantuan, showcasing a planetary energy output that rivals major volcanic zones found across our cosmic environment and nearby planetary sectors of exploration. The physical behavior of this cryovolcanic magma creates bizarre topography that looks entirely unique under scientific observation. Because the water and ammonia blend possesses a much lower viscosity than terrestrial lava, the freezing slush flows smoothly across the plains before solidifying. These extensive flows run for hundreds of kilometers, filling local depressions and continuously renewing the terrain. As the cold mixture hardens in the extreme environment, it forms smooth, glassy plains that completely mask the deep chemical chaos underneath. This dynamic system proves that planetary evolution can occur without high-heat engines, offering new conceptual frameworks for studying complex systems that might link to other realities, like a theoretical multiverse. Just as black holes warp local space geometry, these cryovolcanoes rewrite regional geography, showing that even freezing worlds preserve active internal engines of change that operate far beyond our standard expectations, completely redefining cosmic architecture across our entire stellar neighborhood with absolute physical certainty and clarity. Yet, frozen lava is not the strangest thing moving through this twilight world. The lakes themselves are shifting in ways that defy our instruments. The shifting fluid dynamics of these hydrocarbon reservoirs expose a deep mystery that has captivated advanced astrophysics for consecutive years. When radar data mapped the northern sea known as Kraken Mare, instruments recorded bright features appearing and disappearing on the flat liquid surface. These anomalous radar reflections, famously called magic islands by planetary researchers, initially suggested temporary landmasses or floating ice sheets. However, extensive data analysis confirmed a much more active chemical process occurring within the chilled sea. Seasonal temperature increases cause dissolved nitrogen gas to rapidly escape from the lakebed, rising to the surface in massive fields of bubbles. These giant clusters of effervescent gas temporarily reflect radar waves, mimicking solid land before bursting and completely dissolving back into the dark fluid. This transient phenomenon highlights a constantly churning planetary chemistry, a fact recently supported by space telescope observations that reveal new chemical dynamics across the upper atmosphere today. The data reveals the presence of methyl radicals within the sky, an essential chemical link confirming that complex organic reactions are happening continuously across this sphere. This vital atmospheric discovery strengthens our broader space theory regarding the generation of organic precursors, offering critical evidence that a highly active chemical laboratory is functioning independently in the cold outer solar system. These atmospheric compounds continuously rain down, interacting directly with the liquid features to form a highly intricate surface grid. This constant molecular activity invites profound questions about what else might be developing within these unmapped organic pools over deep time, completely redefining our understanding of how prebiotic chemistry behaves on cold stellar worlds, providing researchers with an incredible perspective on planetary evolution across our local cosmic neighborhood. What would you feel if you saw this phantom island bubbling up from a dark mirror with your own eyes? Let me know below. Beneath this rigid crust lies an even greater environmental anomaly that completely alters our search for alien life across the cosmos. Telemetry data collected during multiple Cassini flybys revealed that the Moon's surface features have shifted position by up to 30 kilometers over deep time. In the field of planetary science, this major displacement indicates that the outer ice sheet is completely detached from the rocky core, floating independently on a massive, globally extended subsurface ocean comprised of water and ammonia. This hidden liquid layer conducts electrical currents efficiently, creating a hidden biome protected from outer radiation. These new discoveries regarding the decoupled crust suggest that organic materials from the surface can migrate downward through fractures, potentially nourishing a dark biosphere below, fundamentally changing our space theory about habitable zones in the universe without relying on direct solar energy. The presence of these organic cauldrons has forced us to stop simply observing from afar and plan a daring robotic intrusion. The historic exploration of Saturn's largest satellite frequently generates a widespread misconception that human space agencies possess no definitive strategy to return to this orange world. For several consecutive years, outdated public theories suggested that researchers had permanently abandoned this toxic landscape, leaving its dark hydrocarbons unvisited after the celebrated Cassini-Huygens mission concluded. This passive perspective has been completely overthrown by monumental announcements from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Under its highly successful New Frontiers program, a revolutionary robotic exploration initiative has been formally approved to spearhead the next grand epic of planetary discovery across deep space. This ambitious mission will serve as a cornerstone for future space documentary production, providing an extraordinary chapter of brilliant science explained as we witness our very first sustained flight machine operate across the outer solar system. This pioneering automated explorer is officially designated as the NASA Dragonfly mission. According to detailed operational timelines officially released by flight directors, the highly specialized vehicle is scheduled to launch in the year 2028, riding an epic trajectory across the cold interstellar void. The advanced robotic craft will navigate deep space for several consecutive years, with its highly anticipated arrival on the frozen crust set for the year 2034. Structurally, this machine does not resemble any conventional wheeled vehicle operating on Mars. Instead, it is designed as a massive, heavy double quadcopter rotorcraft. This large mechanical vehicle weighs hundreds of kilograms, carrying a highly sophisticated automated laboratory that can perform real-time chemical analysis of prebiotic surface materials. The hellish environmental extremes of this frozen satellite paradoxically provide the absolute best mechanical advantages for complex aerial flight systems. The thick atmospheric shroud wrapping this world is exactly 4 times denser than the atmosphere found on planet Earth today. When this massive air density is paired with the Moon's weak gravitational acceleration, which measures only 0.14 grams, it completely creates an absolute aerodynamic paradise for a heavy rotorcraft. Dragonfly will easily generate massive lift with minimal energy consumption, allowing the automated drone to perform long-distance hops across the harsh terrain. The robotic explorer will soar smoothly for tens of kilometers, moving efficiently between the massive Tholen dunes of the Shangri-La Desert and multiple dry lake beds to search directly for definitive chemical signatures of ancient alien life. This unprecedented level of atmospheric mobility completely bypasses the strict geographic barriers that permanently limit standard surface rovers or heavy vertical landing rockets developed by corporate private aerospace entities like SpaceX today. When this mechanical beast finally spins its rotors under that orange sky, it will not just be searching for answers, it will be rewriting our entire cosmic legacy. As this deep exploration concludes, I realize that Titan represents a beautifully cold truth. This grand orange moon is not a cosmic mistake, nor does it defy the fundamental laws of nature. It simply operates on a completely different system of chemistry and physics. The brutal reality of slow-motion methane rain falling through a heavy sky and deep hydrocarbon oceans frozen in absolute stillness reveals the terrifying, poetic irony of our reality. The universe is not broken. Our map of it is just incomplete. What do you think? Does this change how you see our place in the cosmos? Thank you so very much for watching. The universe is full of terrifying yet beautiful mysteries, and exploring them together makes this journey incredible. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the dark cosmos, please subscribe and leave a comment below. I will keep exploring. See you all next time.